we're live. Du, 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 du. Indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me here again. Wherever it is you are, wherever it is here is, we are now within infinite time. We're going to talk about time today. I'm sure it's going to be not contrived at all. No, it's going to make absolute sense, surely. Oh, Shan, it's nice to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Shouldn't you know, and I think you do know, but every single time I pull a funny face for the original YouTube thumbnail, I'm pulling that face for you, friend. You're basically the only one that sees it. How goes the meme? 2 trips over the week. Okay. You don't want to make more trips when you're finger pinking the bottles. Sick. Man, your friend's already here. Gobbity Contudes. Even Shannon and Nana. I smile every time you do that. I love you every single time I do it too, Gob. So it makes me happy that you're smiling for it. Thank you, friends, for joining me in this time. The trip is every single one of us is living in time of our own creation. How about that? Hmm? How about that? That you are now independently existing in your own time, in your own space, in your own time and space. That you technically are the center point between time and space. Excuse me, isn't that trippy? That you, friend, literally you, is the point at which time and space intersects one another. You are, friend, a literal creator of infinity. And it's trippy because we keep doing it. We keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And no matter how many times we do it, we still tell ourselves stories of separation in doing so. And it makes sense. It does make sense because weirdly enough, the reason we developed the sense of time in the first place is because of separation. On a physical level, that the original primordial cells that made up what we eventually became figured out that if they did cell divisions during sunlight, the UV rays would wreck their DNA. So they figured out that if you do cell divisions at night, it's better. So on a visceral, physical level, we figured out time by separating. We separated efficiently through time. We used time as a medium in which we could manifest time and space. Like it was like time came first almost, or at least time was an illusion that came first, as in our planet would turn on its own axis, which means that one side of the planet would always be steeped in light and one side of the planet would always be steeped in its own shadow. And in doing so, Spook Tidman, hello to you too, friend. And in doing so, these cells basically figured out that they could, divide efficiently, not get absolutely wrecked during the nighttime. And as a result of that, we have now, as human beings, evolved to the point we are right now, where we have these, sleeping and waking cycles. But the thing that I'm going to I feel at least want to touch on today is the fact that you, dear friend, are the one that makes time. That time doesn't exist outside of you. And not only that, but the fact that you can change the time within which you exist. Not only in the context of you will change the times, like your impact, the people you touch, the stuff you buy, the foods you eat, all of these things will have impact on the infinity and will change the times. But also with the realization that with the whole understanding of, time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun because you're not paying attention to time. You cease to create time, and then time cease to exist. And without time, it kind of flies. Wish I could join you for the smoke. You are Spug. You are friend. Vicariously. Might not be in physicality, but you are definitely joining me, Spug. I'll be smoking for you, friend. Specifically for you. I think I can crush a little bit more. I have a little bit of mullion in my bowl today, so let's see if it's gonna be a little bit lighter on my lungs. Gravity, go even toast my love, saying love and light to hippie friends. Who's a hippie? Who, me? Who? Toast my love. It's so nice to have you here, brother Bear. I can't tell you how much I've missed you, man. Look at all that stuff. Talking about this. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, Gob. I have spaced already, dude. I have missed thee. Me too, dude. Guttural noises. Isn't that trippy? Everything is. Everything is at this point, truth. I'm pretty sure, and it's like, how do I say this without doxing myself or whatever? It's this balance of being flabbergasted, fascinated with everything at this point, like there's nothing, literally nothing, like literally the blades of grass are fascinating to me at this point. Where during today's meditation, I was kind of like reflecting back on a conversation we had about me moving the hose and someone being like, oh, the bane of having to water your yard, moving the hose. And I was just thinking to myself again how moving the hose is me as a physical, actable agent within the infinity, giving water to myself as the blades of grass. And I was thinking about that, I was feeling about that, the fact that I am in the same way as these blades of grass trying to live life, and I can, in this life, if I do so in a timely manner, create life, literally allow this grass to become a little bit greener. It's been incrementally getting greener, as I keep giving it water. But it's gonna take time, And even though the aspect of time very much does exist within that, when it's green, when the time has gone for me to wait, if I've gone through the whole process of being like, okay, I'm here now, and I'm sure things will be better then, but I'll have to keep doing what needs to be done right now so that things can be as good as they will be then or when, you know? And then coming back to this realization that when things are better, when things are the way that I believe they should be, then they will be, right? I'm gonna be in this moment, but then. And then you can ask yourself, what happened? What changed? And man, like the imagery, it's been tripping me out. Like there's a show called The Sandman. And they have an AI generated, I'm pretty sure it's AI generated, an AI generated bit of a video where a human being was telling other human beings, I don't know how to say this without spoiling. A human being told other human beings that there can be a different way. And the graphic that they added with this transformation was this morphing, this melting into a different state of reality. And the way that they kind of explained it within the show is that not only does it morph into this different reality, but it has always been that reality in a way where when we kind of realize the reality we want to be in, not only is it going to be that way, not only would the time we have waited for it to be that way almost be meaningless, but it would be like it has always been that way. It would be like it has never been any different, you know, and to kind of think about your role in that, to be able to be so present, so divine in your ability to manifest and change things, that by the time we have changed the world in the way that we wanted to, having taken our sweet time to do so, will it just be now? You know? And yes, technically yes, it will just be now. But to realize that we're doing it, that you're the one eliciting that you're the point at which that infinity happens, at which time ticks, you know, like you are literally the intersection point. And I don't know how to give this to you. Like I can see it so viscerally in my mind's eye. It kind of looks like an infinity symbol with your eye, you know, the eye consciousness, being able to peer into infinity in any direction, you know, but it's you in the center as the eye, as the one looking in the center. You're always that. And it's from that observing, it's that intersection, literally the cutting of reality, that makes it look like time, that makes it look like it's ticking along. My brain is melting just trying to explain it even. If I smoke now, we're technically are smoking together. Spoke, you don't have to smoke, friend. I haven't even smoked just yet. I'm taking my time as well. It's okay to wait, friend. Love to you. Hungry Fox is joining us too, saying nice to see you all. Nice to see you, friend. Even Kayana saying morning, friendly friends, sending everybody positivity and love today. Your positivity and love is received. I'm not exactly sure what that was supposed to be, but it was like a circle that looked like it had a horizon, but a curved horizon. And then it looked like there was a sun peeking over the horizon in the circle. But then it would like zoom into the sun, and then it would be a circle. And then there would be a horizon, and a little sun peeking over the horizon. Then it would zoom into the sun, and then it'd be a circle. Horizon. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Sending that love right back to you, friend. Grin Reaper is joining us too. So much love to you. Even Gabby you joining us on the Reddits, saying love to RK Frana and our Grin Reaper, of course. Lade is joining us as well from the bed. Moving into my dorm as we speak. Just think about that, friends. That since Lane started joining us on these streams, he was a high school student, like smack dab in the middle of being a high school student, you know, having a few albums out, letting us listen to his music, then transitioned to playing in multiple bands, literally multiple bands, where he was playing bass guitar and so on for these other bands, to transitioning to actually now going to college, and he's now actively moving into his dorm, you know, and that is like just this little bit of what we've been able to experience of your life, Lane. Thank you for letting us see, my friend. You are the sun, as are you, Hungry Fox. I am, if anything, like a beam coming off of the same sun that you're coming off of, and you're one of these beams through infinity with me, friend. And we're like, woo, yow, shwow. You're also going into infinity. I'm like, yeah, yow, infinity. And you're like, where does it stop? It's no stopping. Just like you. Thank you, friend, for being here with me, Hungry Fox. Hey there, you amazing, beautiful creatures. Hey you, Jeju, jumping, jump. Jack, jump. Even Cable is joining us today. Brother Bear. Cable, my man. Suffering for art, huh? Huh? No suffering, friends. I don't think we have to suffer for art. I just feel we have to sacrifice, you know, and there can be suffering within sacrifice, but there can also be a genuine sense of justice or a sense of pride within sacrifice. So thank you, friends, for being willing to sacrifice time, technically, Technically, we're sacrificing time right now, right? No suffering for art. Sacrifice, maybe. There you go. You know, you completely know. Okay, Will, thank you for the love. Even Skiller joining us as well. See, you also have one of the singularity little duders. I also picked the singularity, dude. And the binary code that it gave me was we will all be one. And I was like, oh, singularity is coming. No rain, no rainbows. No rain, no rainbows. Like the weather is kind of nice. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. The air smells like brownies. Why does the air smell like brownies? I'm pretty sure there's no brownies being baked right now. I also picked singularity. Synchronicity? Absolutely, dude. I believe, singularity is something that scares people as well. Because again, people are so attached to their ego consciousness, to the belief that I am this and you are that, from this context of complete separation between you and the world as well. And to kind of bring it back to this understanding that singularity or ultimate unity isn't necessarily going to be us all melting into one, as in the destruction of yourself to create something new, which is oneness, but instead the realization that we've always been one, and to just lean into that, that there is no separation, but in that non-separation we get to be individuals. There's a difference between individualism and unity, I feel. Or I believe there is a place for individualism within unity, maybe even more so, because as soon as you recognize that every single one of us is but one, then we get to be full individuals as that one. You get to almost like, and I've seen this especially at psytrance festivals, how individuals realize that they are one, and then from that place of oneness they decorate themselves as beautiful individuals. They dress themselves funkily, they do weird stuff to their hair, they body paint themselves. It really is like you are this ultimate customizable character. And only upon truly recognizing your unity with everything do you get to be something. Do you get to elicit what you are out of the everything, out of the infinity, out of the unity. I don't think it's something to be scared of at all. But it is going to be different. It is going to be a change. But you're not opposed to it on a planetary level. If a planet or an alien species had to come and tell you, hey, planet of Earth, you are one. And then someone was like, no, I'm not. I'm not one with planet Earth. And the aliens were like, oh, this person, in fact, doesn't believe he is one with planet Earth. Let's remove him from planet Earth. Put him as a oneness, as an individual. Put him in space. Let him be a planet of his own. Put him in orbit around the sun. See how long he survives in that kind of state of existence. And it would be extremely brutal, but it would be very clear to a lot of people just how not separate we actually are. And then from that place, truly realizing in that place that you're not separate, that we are as a planet a oneness, that I am breathing air right now produced by these trees. That there is a sense of unity between me and these trees as well, where if I and all of the things producing carbon dioxide on this planet had to suddenly be removed, the trees would die. And if all the trees suddenly had to be removed, I would die. To kind of see other human beings in that way. It's difficult, I know. It's difficult. Ooh. But I feel that's what singularity is supposed to mean. Unity is supposed to mean, at least to me. What do you think, Brother Cable? I love your bong. Have you not seen it before? It is a pretty nice one. I'm happy that you like it as much as I do, Brother Bay. Who needs tears and gateway process? So nice to have you friends here. Thank you for joining me. Even Brother Wizik. So much love to you. I am a time traveler. Yes, you are, Contoons. Yes, you are, friend. I picked up some new bud the other day. Got a real nice low percentage indica. Got me feeling like a teddy bear. Like, unfortunately, un deeply unfortunately, when you say you're feeling like a teddy bear, I just see you as Ted, dude. You know, I just see you as the teddy bear. And teddy bear is forever ruined by Ted for me. Picked up Shabbat, and he loved as well. Thank you, Shabbat, brother Toast. I'm excited. This Christmas, I'm going back home for the first time since I left. My stepmom and I have been chatting recently about my experiences and beliefs in psychedelics and how beautifully transforming it could be for my dad, how I feel I could benefit from a blooming, who I feel could benefit from a blooming. Welcome to my fractal now, brother Isaac. I've been like desperately trying to get my dad to do it as well. I hope that you actually get to take him through that, man. Apparently, he's not totally against it. So here's to manifesting, getting an old man's mind melted. Yes, dude. I feel like our older generation needs their minds melted more than most of us. The amount of rigidity, the amount of default mode networking that's going on there, needs to be a little bit interrupted. It's awesome. Sounds like it'll be a Merry Christmas indeed. Excited for you, Fred. Thank you for that encouragement. It gives me a hope, Shan. So much love to you. Goo. Thank you for the Godspeed. Okay, Isaac is giving me 2 green loves and a smunk. So I'm gonna tune into Toasty's energy and become Toasty myself. What are we getting Toasty for today? What's our intention? We're talking about time, right? So I'm smoking with the intention of understanding time. It's almost like I just put in a prompt. I don't know how to explain this. In in context of processing, like imagine the universe is a massive computer, and it had a beautiful interface. And upon saying something, asking something, it's like entering a line of code or running an application or something like that. And asking the question like, I want to understand time, suddenly just like puts me in like the 1 percentile of like extreme processors or extreme processing that needs to happen. It's like, are you sure about that? User interface message pops up. The request that you have made will take 50 billion years to unravel. Are you sure about that? Yes. Teach me. Teach me how time. Teach me what time. And the aliens are like, no, fam, please. Please, we needed to use machines, dude. We needed to use machines. Stop. No. No, what's up? Am I tripping out already? Maybe I'm intimidated by this bowl we're smoking today. To time, to understanding time, to making the most of time. Yeah, I feel that's a good one even. You'll see. Okay. That's a tall order. The order was getting taller. Mm, yeah. What's coming to me right now is what is going to happen when we have more time? You know, because that is one of the questions, one of the conundrums we're going to have to face. That's some good Hermes Blair. What's gonna happen when we live longer? Because we're gonna live longer, friends. We're going to live significantly longer. You know, if my estimates are correct, we're the first human beings that will live to 200 years. At least. I believe at least 200 years. And you can call me out when I'm like a 150-year-old man being like, oh, Mel, you were wrong, dude. The average is like 170 right now, asshole. I'll be like, yeah, I guess you were right. But what is it going to mean for us when we live to 150 years old? Imagine being a 150-year-old being, but in a 30-year-old body. How are we going to see relationships? How are we going to see our creative pursuits? How are we going to build businesses, companies of people, of friends? How are we going to raise children? How are we going to spend our time? And that's 150 years. That is just, I want to say just 150 years. That's not even starting to touch on 1,000 year, 2,000 year, 10,000 year lifespans. We might be able to do that as well. Hmm. The crazy thing is, if you get to live 10,000 years and you kind of leave it at that, you kind of make yourself cellularly immortal. In other words, if you get thrown into the sun, you'll still probably die. Actually, you will die 100%, but on a cellular level, at least your cells will know how to duplicate themselves or to not destroy your telomeres every single time it reduplicates, to have a perfect cell division, and then you could potentially get yourself like stem cell, almost like patchwork, every single time, maybe like on a decade basis, on a 5 decade basis, you go for stem cell therapy again, and it reverts you back to like a 30-year-old state, for example. And we can do that for 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 years. What is that going to do to us as a person? What would we consider a person? How would ageism, it's a weird word, play a role? Imagine being a 10,000-year-old being seeing a 5-year-old. Like my brain melts just upon thinking even something like that. I am 10,000 years old. And the joke is, you are already older than 10,000 years as well. But let's not get into that just today, because that's going to be a whole lot. But as a 10,000-year-old being, looking at something that is like, in a weird way, I can do that with Pippi. Pippi is an adult now, but she's only a year. She's less than a year old now. A little bit less than a year old. And I am a 24-year-old being. So even though we're both adults, I am 24. I've been around this planet 24 more cycles. The amount of information I've experienced is vast. And yet, in this moment, we're experiencing a sense of time. Huh, Puppy? Huh? Right? You know time. Because you get hungry and stuff, and you go to sleep, right? We're in this moment, in this time together, regardless of the amount of age difference. And there can be unity. There can be a sense of togetherness, regardless of that time as well. And to kind of extrapolate that to the ultimate extreme where we're all together, no matter when or where in time we are. Whew. The wind is bringing some pollen, it seems. It's making my nose itchy. I'm honestly nervous. I feel like I will be an amount of bonding and emotions that I won't be ready to be blessed with, brother bear. You're gonna be so blessed with all of those emotions. It's a little bit much. Me and my dad had like tears in our eyes. The deepest my dad has been willing to go is a single gram of psilocybin mushrooms. And he's had that experience, and now he believes he knows what the experience is like. And he said this to me, where we'll have conversations about the things that we've experienced. And he'll ask me how I have come to a conclusion, how I can believe something in a certain way. And I usually answer in a way of, it's an understanding I have came to, right? Like I came to this understanding through trial and error, reflecting on the things that I think, noticing whether or not there's any bias on an egoical level, if I'm somehow winning, somehow victimizing within this context, and then to continue reiterating on that process, melting away all of the bullshit and just kind of seeing the truth, the love that arises from that topic. And
doing so in a psychedelic state of mind, it's almost like the amount of iterations you can make, the amount of layers you see in a second increases. And I say this to my dad, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, but you won't be able to understand. And then he gets offended by that because and in his words, I have taken mushrooms. I do understand. And I'm like, Dad, no. Taking a single gram of mushrooms does not allow you to understand what mushrooms is about. Like, I don't even understand what it's about. And I have, like, literally had upwards of, like, a total of 150 with everything, upwards of 50 trips. I still don't even remotely understand. And I've dipped my toes in. It makes me excited for you, brother Isaac, because for me the biggest thing about the whole wanting to share psychedelics with our parents isn't of this egoical I'm gonna show you something, type of experience, but within the infinity, within the experiences that human beings can have, if I see myself as a oneness, right? I see my dad as the same oneness that I am. And within that oneness, seeing, not, I guess it's lack, and I'm telling myself a story within that lack as well, but seeing the lack of that experience, where Terence McKenna had it beautifully said, where he talks about the psychedelic experience in the same context as eating food, or having a child, or having sex, or jumping in the water. Like these are these like experiences, beautiful human experiences that we get to have, and we just happen to live in a society at the moment where these things were extremely demonized, and we were told decades worth of propaganda, right? Our parents and our parents were propaganda about the dangers of all of these things, and now we're like finally coming around to it. My mom is even curious. Like I think my mom might take psychedelics properly before my dad does, and that boggles my mind as well. We want to give them something, but not from this perspective of they need to be grateful to us for giving it to them, but from this perspective of your parents taking you to Disneyland, right? Sure, you can be grateful to them for taking you to Disneyland, but if and Disneyland is like a rough example for me. Growing up, it was Gold Reef City, is this place we have in South Africa that have these cool rides, and especially this crystal shop. Like my little kid self, just like yow, crystals. So, like just from that perspective, you can be grateful to your parents for taking you somewhere. But if you're not willing to be there fully, if you're not willing to look at the crystals, be fascinated with the crystals, stretching this analogy a little bit, you won't be able to enjoy that experience. And I feel like that's the beauty of psychedelics as well, is where it will show you the infinity. And then you get to look at whatever it shows you. And whatever story you tell yourself about it is revealing, extremely revealing. And it's exhausting sometimes, even. And I understand why my dad is apprehensive to it. It makes me so happy that yours is not. Like, I'm gonna tell him the story probably, Maybe you can even let me know how it went afterwards. Gateway, our beloved Gateway Goblin says, I'm leaving work in an hour to drive down to North Carolina. A quick 7-hour road trip. What's that universe? Gateway Goblin is a crazy woman? Yeah, seems that way. Quick 7-hour road trip. What's wrong? Goodness, good luck. Good luck. Oh, oh, I've only like driven for 7 hours. Unironically, no more than 10 times in my entire life, Gateway. Good luck, my friend. Nice. What part? Let me just hitchhike. I didn't smoke yesterday, but I'm not bummed about it. I will at least smoke with Uncle Becky in October. Ooh, are you gonna go back to Uncle? Oh, actually. Gobbledygoo, so much love to you, man. When does this ride end? It doesn't. It's just infinity for infinity for infinity for infinity for infinity. Oscillations, oneness, joing, 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 joing. Everything is oscillation. Knowing and not knowing. Light and darkness. In and out. Love and hatred. And we have bias, you know? Like we like it when it's light. Have bias when it comes to our emotional states as well. I think the coolest thing that we get to realize now is that we can use our time to shape our biases. W. So many friends here, got my hands busy with the projects, but I'm lurky, listening, and largely loving. Yes, loving you too. Thank you so much, Jovan. Oh, reading your words always brings me joy. Truth, gobbledygoo, you're the one that knows, dude. So much love to you. What's the symbol? Jojo definitely plays for individuality and unity. It's not either or. Exactly, dude. And I feel like that is something that people need to realize, and something that we need to tell people. Because for some reason, it's like people are worried about losing themselves. Oh, I don't want to lose myself. You can't. You cannot lose yourself. Yourself is in the center of the infinity. It's like literally there. It just is. Even if you have wires in your brain that is like displaying a whole holographic universe over top of your field of vision, it is still just going to be you in this moment. You'll just have different information to tell yourself a story about. And that is kind of like coming back to yesterday's point, practicing that story, getting good at telling yourself that story. No one can take that from you. So no matter whatever is out here, whatever nonsense, tsunamis, volcanoes erupting, freaking meteorites falling down from the sky, you're gonna be like, huh, neat. That's beautiful, actually. You might die, but if you can continue the relaxed, calm story within self, no matter what happens on the external world, and that was just extremes, right? Real extremes. We are going to be fine. Get good at this moment. Then we can get good at everything else. I do look like, do I look like a bad person? If I think so. I think I've missed a little bit. But the cable said individuals combine to form the collective. And guess the magic, the sum of the numbers is worth more than the numbers individually. Exactly, dude. That's the crazy part about the collective as well, is that we become literal like uber beings as the collective, as something that comes together to do something larger than itself. We really can't do much as an individual human being. The beauty of humanity is our ability to work together, to use our time. And that's the thing about time, right, Cable? Like that it's an exponential thing. That spending our time on something, like I can spend an hour working consciously as we are in this stream. But because I'm not alone, because there's a bunch of you friends, maybe spending 10 minutes, maybe spending an hour, now suddenly within the whole spectrum of consciousness within humanity, there is a significant amount of time spent thinking about the stuff we talk about, growing within the stuff we talk about, getting better at the story we tell ourselves about the stuff we talk about. And yo, like what is that going to do, dude? What is that going to do for us as a unity, for us as a collective? Is that how planets are formed? Do I look like a bad person if I think so? No, Skiller. I just think you're wrong. The whole analogy of I believe I'm separate, like I am something and the whole world is something else. Like for me, the analogy of removing you from Earth, that's the best way. If you think you're separate, if I remove you from Earth, you would still be a conscious agent. You'd be able to move in all accesses. You'd be able to breathe. You'd be able to think. You'd be able to tell yourself a story. But your story is intrinsically attached to Mother Earth right now. Like you're being held down by gravity so that you can move in these planes of existence. You have an atmosphere provided for you, again, by Mama Nature, which you can breathe, which is like a liquid basically pressing down on you right now, flowing into your body and then being pushed out of your body by your diaphragm. Right? You are not separate. You are very much a part of this larger organism. I gotta go teach now. Lovely as always to meet Mel and feel all of the energy and wisdom. Goodbye, Mel. Goodbye, everyone. Kevo, thank you for teaching our future generations, Brother Bear. Honor and see you. I know you're not here anymore, but I know that you're here right now. Right here. Cable is seeing his hand, seeing his world. Hope you have an easy breezy Friday, Jump and Jack. Thank you for that. Singularity is wild. Creating mechanized consciousness is going to be the most exponential change in the human evolution or experience. Oh yeah, dude. It's also going to start to melt our brains and barriers based on what real even is. If we are even real in the first place. And then realizing the only thing that's real, again, is you. The story you're telling yourself right now is the realness within infinite noise. Tell yourself a good story. Tell yourself a beautiful one, even. What is the source code of the universe? You, truth. Your awareness. Awareness is the source code. It's the. It's like the DOS. It's like the bump, bump, bump. That little bar beating. Conscious. The oscillation. The sine wave. The heartbeat. The ins and the out breaths. That is it, friend. It's you. Merman joining us as well. Brother Bear, love to you. It's nice to have you. Time as a constant is irrelevant. All we have is here and now, but with love. But don't be late to work or picking up your kids. Exactly, Gren Reaper. There has to be balance, Like we are usually in these streams talking in extremes so that we can find balance within self. That way, instead of me trying to tell you how you're supposed to be living your life, I can create a conundrum. And then we can look at this conundrum together and be like, I'm the one that creates time? Time doesn't exist? And it's like, yeah, what about that? But I have kids that come out of school in 10 minutes. And you're like, yeah. Where are you going to find the balance? Are you going to stress yourself out for the next 10 minutes? Or are you going to casually get in your car, start driving to school, see that there's traffic, be in the traffic, be like, get to school 3 minutes late. Tell your kids, I'm sorry, kids, there was traffic. Like there's balance in everything that we can find. Thank you, Gren Reaper, for bringing that into our minds. How does time work when we pursue the now? Is it paused for everyone else? How would we know? That's the trip, Jumpin. That is the trip, dude. Whew. The thing is, and this is the thing that's crazy to me, is the fact that we can tune into those moments of now together. In this way, where we have today, where it's been 44 minutes of us doing this, but it hasn't felt other than now this whole time. It's just been now, right? So yes, everyone else I think is still going on with their now, but someone else might be in a very boring detention class right now, and they're like actively looking at the clock every 5 minutes, and it's been excruciating for them the last 40 minutes. But they're creating that time, right? They're creating that experience of time as the observer within time, creating time, creating a sense of more time within their time, where we might have created a pause of time or an acceleration of time in ours. And just realizing that we have the power to do that. You're right, choosing to not believe in time isn't very practical. No. No, especially not for me. Like I am the worst person ever to be saying these things. That's the joke. That literally is the joke. That's what Meltmore means to me as well. It's paradox almost. It's like the masculine and feminine dancing within a moment. Because I, as a as an ego, right? Yeah, I as an ego am the most time crazy person in the world. I'm not late. It's just not something that I do. I just don't come late to things. You know, if I have to be somewhere, I'm there before I'm supposed to be there. If you're like the whole saying of, if you're on time, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Yeah, that's the one. I don't believe that, but that is the way I live my life because I value someone else's time so much. Again, from this belief system of they are also the infinity, right? God. And I need to respect them as God within infinity, as an equal, in the same way that I would want to be treated, right? That whole understanding as well. I show up on time. So I I'm aware. I'm aware that it's impractical to believe time is an illusion. But it has served me in the moments where I don't have some sort of commitment to a certain time frame, where it allows me a sense of calmness and a sense of ease when I allow it. But at the same time, because of my ego's persistence to be on time with things, it also causes a lot of tension in all of the other parts of my life. And the thing that I've been noticing is over the graph of time, my likelihood for effort seems to be going like exponential. So I'm like here somewhere right now where I have been like showing up every single day. And now the bar of how much effort I can do in a day has grown to like this point. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to believe this. I am particularly, not painfully, particularly aware of this happening, right? That exponential whoop, and I'm like, and this part of me is like really trying to be like, oh, I don't know how to do things. I don't know how to do things. No, please, please, please don't even do all the things. Oh, so like, and that's the truth for all of us. You know, all of us are growing in that way right now, and it might be painful to let go of old patterns, to let go of the old way that we used to do things, you know, in light of the effort that's needed, you know, like it goes from a place of I have to exert this effort to this is what needs to happen. Right? Like it's a whole different energy. It's a whole different thing. And you know, I feel sometimes I hit a little bit hard on that on these streams, but it feels like a responsibility at this point for us to do that, to be beings of light, to make the time that people spend with us around us as good as possible, to realize that that is the power we have, that we don't actually have any other power other than that. Stories. What's up? All you wonderful time traveling disco warriors. Much love to you too, Rambler. How nice to have you here, dude. What's up with you, man? More time equals more patience. Dude, maybe that would be the way. 10,000-year-old Melt is just uber patient, you know? He spends like 3 minutes contemplating before answering your questions. I can definitely see future Melt doing that. You ask him something, he just sits for 3 minutes looking at you, thinking about what you just said. Lovingly, of course, staring into your eyes, answers you in like 4 words after 3 minutes of contemplation. It would be gut wrenching, but it would be a whole ride to talk to me. I don't think I would do that, but it's funny to imagine. Dogs live in an entirely different plane, dimension of time. I agree, Truth. I agree. But the fact that in this moment we are together, gives me a hope that there are entities that live again within completely different planes and dimensions of time as well. And in the same way that I can have a sense of togetherness with Pippi, they probably have a sense of togetherness with me as I do with them as well. Can't understand and be at the same time. Ooh, Yossi. Yossi! Rambler. Rambler. I don't even know if that's true, but that is something worth saying. You see, that's what we mean when we talk about things worth saying. Because like just saying those words makes me feel things. You can't understand and be at the same time. Good thing to think about. Because I definitely have this propensity, manic want sometimes to understand everything. And then within that pursuit, I'm not, being. I'm problem solving, I'm articulating, I am exploring, simulating. And that can be, in a way, a form of being as well. But it's a filtered way of being. It's a way of being that follows a channel instead of being open to the noise. Dragonflies as well. It's interesting to peer into that perspective. It always helps me appreciate our opportunities here, dude. Dragonflies, and I believe most birds as well. Has a fourth cone within their eyes, so they see much more colors than we do as well. Are a trip for sure. They definitely are. Die often is joining us as well, saying we are living in a culture entirely hypnotized by the illusion of time, in which the so-called present moment is felt as nothing but an infinitesimal hairline between an all-powerful causative past. Man, words are hard right now, it seems. Where the moment is felt as nothing but an infinitesimal hairline between an all powerfully causative past and an absorbingly important future. Die often, that is a trip, dude. That is a trip. That is, in a way, the place we find ourselves in. In a weird way enough, like we go to school and then we learn about these pasts and we have to learn the things that the past people have figured out for us, and then we're doing that again so that we can have this future, like the future that they were peddling to me was like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to do this and do well in high school so you can get these certain amount of points. You get x amount of points with different subjects, and then these, if you have a certain amount of points, then you get to qualify for a certain subject, and then you can go and study that subject. And then if you can study a certain subject and then get your degree, then you're gonna have this ideal job. And I went to my proficiency tests, and they were like, "Yeah, you have to be a chemical engineer." And I was excited about that. I was like, "Yeah, that sounds about right. Chemical engineering, sick." You know, oh goodness, what would I have done? Ideally, you know, the biodegrading of toxic metals, oils, plastics. Maybe that's what I would have done if I went into the chemical industry, but that was not what I needed to go into. But it was always this story, beautifully said, absorbingly important, where you had to completely abandon your entire life and anything that you could, think your life to be, in pursuit of this future, this important future that you need to live. You need to do this thing, you know. You have to become this chemical engineer. You have to get these points in your high school classes. You have to. And then the causative past, dude. You know, again, the reason we were in school like that, the reason we were learning these things, is because of this past that has been so set, and we're being told all of these things. Dude, that is tripping me out. That is tripping me out. Wow. Who said that? Is that you, Diophant? It's beautiful nonetheless. Technically, it was you, right? The kaleidoscope, tornado, all of it, dude. We have no present. Our consciousness is almost completely preoccupied with memory and expectation. We do not realize that there never was, is, nor will be any other experience than present experience. I feel, at least in this space, we do realize, you know, and we celebrate that even die often. Thank you for sharing, friend. Thank you for the love, Auntie. It's nice to have you here with me. Sending you so much love. Two sick kiddos, home on a rainy day. How will I get anything done? Who needs to get anything done anyway? There's more time tomorrow to get the things done, Auntie. We were talking about time today, you know, and I know that is the worst thing I could possibly say, but in this fractal where you are the I need to do all of these things, I'm gonna be the one who's like, who needs to anyway? Who needs to not be? Love you, friend. I hope you take care. I hope the kids get better soon. Dearest Merman, great to see you too. Thank you, Auntie, for the love, friend. Emma says that all the time. If you're on time, you're late. There's no room for excuses. I love it. Yeah, on being on time, you know, it's a joke, but it's one I like telling. You know, because I'm fortunately very comfortable with my own company as well. So even if I go somewhere in advance, you know, I won't be troubled just being alone in a new place, looking around. I'd probably make friends, you know, end up having more friends than I had before my friend shows up. You as well, sending love and healing vibes to those kiddos. Thank you for the love, Merman. I appreciate that. Hope the kiddos feel better soon. So much love coming to you. Thank you so much. Miles has it rough right now. Strep, accompanied with high fever, vomiting, and scarlatina, rhinovirus, and RSV 1 and 2. What the? Aunt B? What the hell? Well, Miles, you know, is like doing the speed run of like T cell manufacturing right now, it seems. That is genuinely how I'm going to see it. Is that his body is just like under assault by 50 different things, and his little T cells are just like, okay, next. And it's just this bad guy virus, you know, it's like, yeah, turn to the side, yeah, turn to the front, turn to the back, thank you, puts him in the file, clink, saves him. I hope he gets better soon. I'd be sending so much love to him. To you too. I hope you stay healthy as well. Hey, Sena is joining us. Nice to have you, friend. I'm doing well. How are you? Going back to Haywire Hill in October, Gop. That's so awesome. Give all the snoots a boop for me. Maybe you can go too. Toast Malost. Wow, you're very wise and mature. I would never have guessed you're 24. I thought you're around my age. I am an infinitely old being. So, you know, this is just my body, you know, is 24 years old. I was reflecting back on a time when I could look at my hands and not think about how old they are. And there's a part that came from an experience I had recently, but most of it came from the experiences I had as a child. Hmm. Zainam, thank you for prompting my memory. We're all much older than our bodies. We're all much more than just our bodies. We are the infinity after all. The reason we become so identified with this experience is because it's tangible. You have all of this mush in your brain that encodes information, makes you believe you are this instead of that, that which we all are. There's two new baby goats that I want to love on. Ooh, gobbledygoo. Dude, how are you not sprinting right now? Manically packing your bags to get to the baby goats. Use our time to shape our biases. Tell yourself beautiful stories. Chef's kiss. Love you, friend. Thank you. Thank you so much for growing with me. That's my story, dude. That's I believe the message, the lesson, the mission I'm here to portray. And the beautiful part about it is the fact that it's you, that you're the one we're doing it for. That you're the one we wanted to grow. You're the one that we want to see thrive. That is how we all thrive. And it's I'm almost happy, at this point in my life for this experience of being apprehensive to receiving more than is necessary. Like being hard of gift receiving, even. If that's the thing ever. And it's something that I've almost like, it's like the universe had to teach me that lesson. It had to teach me how to be willing to receive abundance. And it is from this perspective of feeling like I have a warm bed to sleep in. I have enough food to eat. I have clean water to drink right now. What more can I ask for? And surely I want a bunch of things. Most of them technology, so that I can again create more things. But it's perpetual. And in this moment, in this time I find myself in, I don't need anything. So I can use my time to give to you. It's a whole trip. It's a whole trip. We're using our technology very interestingly. Is that a Max Beans? I see. So much love to you. Even Katie! So cool to have you here. Wow, I made it before the other 800 people. The other 800 people were already here. They've tuned in and then dropped out or something. And now you're here too. Katie, it's nice to have you, friend. Sounds horrible, friend. I'm so sorry to hear that. Lucky he has you, though. Get better, Miles. Thank you for the love, Merman. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's 3 upper respiratory infections, lots of coughing, snot, and chest congestion. Scarlatina, also known as scarlet fever, is a rash all over that usually accompanies the strep throat. Okay. I saw a tri-flower that had like large swooping petals. And then in the middle of it, there was what looked like a platform, almost like a cylinder extruding out of the flower. And then on that platform, it looked at first just like textures or noise, like interference with like spikes. And then as I got closer and closer to kind of like make out what it is, it looked like a crown. But the crown was made out of a train rail that was like looping in on itself, and it had these wooden beams, is that what you call them? Planks on the inside. Setting love to beloved Miles. Thank you, Aunt B, for bringing him into the space with us. Can't wait to see Gabagoob again. Gimme. It's Gimme is gonna go to you to be your shadow. Gimme is going to be your shadow. I'm guessing it's the little goat, right? Aunt V. I think it's gonna be amazing. I'm pretty sure that Brother Gob's not gonna complain for a second. He's a straight beast though, always champ. Thank you. He's gonna be. Man, I cannot. I don't think I've ever been that sick as a kid. I did get malaria as a kid, which was less than ideal, but at least I just had malaria. I didn't have malaria and strep and scarlatina and the other things. Dude, sending so much love to that little man. He's a king. He's gonna be so good. King of the rails, maybe even. Uh, the party train. King of the party train. There we go. That one feels more even more apt. My friend's band is opening for My Chemical Romance, and I want to be supportive, of course. Of course you do. Beautiful being you. So much love to you. I hope it's beautiful all the way there. I'm sure it will be beautiful there as well. I'm guessing you'll stay for My Chemical Romance's show as well. I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you. So happy for you, my friend. Thank you for sharing it with us. I think it's interesting to observe one whose time is moving at a different speed. Y'all know what I mean? I do. I do. You can almost see the amount of panic and visceral anxiety in their beingness. And you can almost get caught in it. You know, that paranoia can extend to you. When you say times 30 times, my brain has never melted to a puddle. Yes, finally. It was about time. Cocoon's just like time. What does it even mean at this point, dude? If you say it this many times, does it have any time to time anymore? You know what I'm okay, we're gonna stop. I'm back! Lol, 20 minutes behind, but work got busy. Born in Fayetteville, but from the Hickory area, like an hour south of Boones. Yes, that totally didn't like over my head. No, Isaac, I completely know what you just said and mean, and I'm like, yes. Yeah. Sena saying we can't separate from yourself or the universe. When I'm in nature and I feel the sun on my skin, or I'm looking up at the moon and the stars, I know that we're always connected to the main source of infinity. Mm. Just reading those words makes me happy, Sena. Thank you for sharing it with us. Nice, Isaac. I have some friends from, oh, it's a band, Boone, or it's a place, beautiful area. Thank you for sharing that synchronicity as well. I can tell you right now that 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree have done diddly squat as far as being monetarily successful. Society told me doing those things meant I would be set. I expanded my mind and I see value in that. Maybe there's more. But in no means am I monetarily secure, which is what I was told as a young person. Now I don't really listen to what society tells me. Who needs tears? What a freaking encouragement that is. She has 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. And it hasn't done much for her to like guarantee any financial security. You know, and that's the joke. It's like, oh, you do this thing, you get into debt. You know, it's like literally it's a debt trap where you do this thing so that you can do the other thing. Then you have to do the other thing for multiple years, which is almost like a spirit breaking, you know, play. And I'm so happy for you, friends. Bless the fact that you had some of your debts canceled, right? That's a thing. Is that actually a thing? Did that happen for any of you, friends? Bless. I hope so. I hope so. That's really cool. But the fact that, you know, there was this whole system, still is in place, where you have to go into extreme debt to get this piece of paper so that you can now go and work a job, and then you have to do that job for, you know, up to a decade at some points, just so that you can not be in debt anymore. And then in that decade, it's almost like That decade was so designed to break people's spirits so that by the time that decade is finished and they actually do have the luxury of doing their own thing, they've gotten so settled within a career that there's no need to, no want to, no will to do something for themselves. And the fact that this space is going to be encouraging you to do that for as long as I'm going to do this, which in my mind is infinity, I'm going to encourage you to keep showing up for what you love. You know, if you have to work a job right now, do so being the expression of love. You know, like everywhere you go, the people you help, the place you work for, in that space, be the expression of love. And then when you get to go home, show up for love in the way where if there's anything you particularly enjoy with a deep passion, keep showing up for it. Because if you keep showing up for it, you will get good enough at whatever it is you deeply love to the point where society will reward you for that. You know, and I believe that so deeply that I'll put myself on the line. If in 50 years you did what you loved every single day and you haven't made a success of that, then hit me up. I'll make it right. Okay? That I can guarantee you as well, who needs tears. That in 50 years versus the degrees we got, and as you mentioned, you know, you don't regret the things you've learned, but more important than monetary gain is going to be gain in this moment, happiness within this moment, right? Showing up for love in this moment and doing that consecutively, consistently over the next 50 years will pay absolute dividends over what your degree could ever pay for you. A proficiency test like the GOAT test in Fallout, I don't know about that. It was like a whole thing, you know, of an IQ test and everything. I don't even know if my mom paid for that stuff, but she did take me. It like basically all my classmates got taken to the same, you know, doctor or whatever, physician, psychologist, whatever. I also wondered what those results would be, what my results would be in one of those. I mean, you can still go for one, maybe just to see, you know, to see what the old fractal thinks you're supposed to be. But in no means am I monetary secure. Who needs tears? I believe that's temporary as well, friend. The future we're heading into will make sure to make use of all of these degrees you have. Wow, Gateway. The My Chemical Romance thing, that's way cool, right? Just like casually strolling in. Gateway Goblin, you know, absolute shades, you know, like shades this thick. Like you shouldn't even be able to know that there's eyes behind those shades. Shades on, you know, and like a bag of gold underneath the arm. It's like, when you jealous? You jealous? You jealous? No. You're just so cool. Society tells me tears. I'm just thinking of how our perspective and experience grows over time. So I have no doubt that the results I got years ago would be very different than now. Oh yeah, absolutely even. So on that note, the idea of committing my life to what I want to call an immature presumption sounds awful. I just don't think we should put much weight on what society projects onto us. Listen, but don't take it as truth, you know. And if there's no love, then there's probably no truth. Very true. My perspective as an 18-year-old versus a 38-year-old is definitely much different. Time certainly changes things. You change things. Damn, you're so right. We are so much more than our bodies. Sometimes I forget that since people judge me for my looks, instead getting to know me as a beautiful soul that we all are, people don't realize that the body and their thoughts about the body is the reflection of them as well. You know, if they're unwilling to commune with you, communicate with you, right? Like the fact that me and you are having a connection right now, Sena, and you can see me as a body, as a person, but I have absolutely no idea what you look like. You know, I know that your family is from Ethiopia, so I can maybe infer that you're from African descent, but that doesn't make the love I have for you, the person I see in you, the want I see in you to create love in the world any less. And the people that will see that in you will see that without needing to look at your person. Like they will just know. They will just know. And whew, it's brutal because even for me, right? I have a hard time connecting with people, not being judged for the way I dress, the way my hair looks, the things I say. Like people would rather form an opinion, form a feeling, form a narrative about who I am and what I am instead of paying attention, right? Letting the soul express and then seeing what that expression makes you feel. And we're getting better at that. Saying we're getting better at that as a society, fortunately. But we're not completely there just yet. We're on our way though. You give me hope. Hello, mama. And that?
Jou toortjie gebring.
Oh, thank you, mama.
Is dit is hier?
My mom brought me a little torch. Ek gaan hom aan my deursleutel vassit
Ja.
actually. Thank you, mama. I'm gonna put it on my door keys. In Norflex gel. What's Norflex gel?
Pyngoede.
Gee hulle vir jou 'n liggie saam met jou pyngoed.
Ja, of 'n ehm 'n COVID dingetjie wat jy deure mee kan oopmaak sonder om jou hand aan deure te
O, dis 'n hoek.
soos 'n hoek.
'n Staalhoekie dingetjie. Of
So,
dit was
toe gee hy vir my 'n flitsie in 'n hoek. En toe vra ek hoeveel kinders het ek, toe sê ek 4, toe gee my nog 4. Vat ek dit.
Dis seker nou hulle marketing campaign of
Ja.
ietsie. Dankie, mama. Yeah, there was some dude in one of the shopping malls giving out free souvenirs like hooks to open doors with, like no contact hook, so you can open doors and push things open without having to touch any surface that someone else with COVID might have touched. And then these little things. And apparently it is some sort of new pain balm. And he asked my mom how many kids she has. She told him she has 4 kids. And then he gave her like 4 little souvenirs. You're curious about this? You will surely destroy it because you're insane and everything is to be destroyed by you. Don't look away like you don't know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, you're sweetie patootie. There you go. Yeah. No, she will. I need to keep this out of harm's way from her. Actually, she just has this tenacity to find whatever is on the ground, and then we find it again in multiple pieces somewhere else. And I've thought about getting angry about it. Where I was like, am I supposed to be angry at this? And I think to myself, why? She literally does not understand that she's doing something wrong. If something's on the ground, to her it's fair game. It's like this thing is on the ground, fam. What can I tell you, dude? My face was in reach of the thing, so it got wrecked. This is just the way it is. So I have completely accepted her flaws and all. Fortunately, she doesn't destroy shoes or something like that. Like she hasn't picked up that habit. It's mostly bowls. Bowls. She steals bowls and then she goes and destroys the bowls somewhere else. I don't know if there's like flavor left in the bowl or something. Krijg ek 'n keuse van sjokolade. 5-star Tex of KitKat. So is al drie myne.
Nee, jy kan kies.
Ek wil nou net sê, nee, die 5-star is gaan wen. Dis
O, daar's 'n lunchbar ook.
lunchbar is ook lekker, maar en hierdie gaan wen. Die lunchbar is groter daar, right?
Dis 'n lunchbar of so.
Haha, nou wat ons. Hey Boeta, lekker dag gehad? Okay, that's all, dankie man. This is soft chocolatey center. Yes, exactly like that. With little crunchy biscuits in that soft chocolatey center, and then that soft chocolatey center is covered in a layer of caramel, and then that caramel is again covered in a layer of chocolate. It's Cadbury, which I believe is like a South African chocolate company. It's pretty fire. We don't do it a lot. It's nice of my mom to bring me one. Why do I suddenly feel like a little boy? Ah, puppy. I feel like a little kid right now. Visualize the earth drawing the sickness and discomfort. Use the rain to wash it away intentionally. Manifest healing. Even bless him with some oils. He's a straight beast though. He's gonna be fine. Time is an illusion we made, a measurement to tell the difference between what is and what is not. Ooh, I like that. Thank you. Tech Priest, Elgamon. Very interesting username. To the singularity, friend. I see you. We only started worrying about running out of time after we started measuring it. Yeah, that's a joke as well, dude. Time goes into infinity. It's a measuring of the now into infinity. Happy Smile Seekers joining us as well. I love you too, friend. It's so nice to have you here with us. Gimme is the little goat that loves scritches and nibbles and everything that we have. Another little baby since then, Samuel Bill. Almost like Sawmill. Sawmill Bill? That is Sawmill Bill. Reading is hard, okay? Reading is dyslexia. That is actually like a... Ek het nou net 'n offisiële disleksiese oomblik hier gehad. Waar daar so 'n M, as 'n M en 'n W gewees en toe ry hulle om. So dit was soos ja, is dit solar paneled?
Nee, plan.
Oh.
Kyk of ek kan vlieg.
Wessel 3D printed a little flying device. Moet nie 'n propeller hê nie.
Ja, hy werk nie.
Yo, Yassi Bobassi, yo. Freaking trying to bomb me here or something.
Kom mekaar.
Make that fill that thing with gunpowder. It's all actually a gunpowder and it's for my ignition cap in die pin.
Oh, 'n freaking primer.
Yeah,
Primer en 'n spykertjie.
Exactly.
Vol hard genoeg.
dis like sê, ja. Dis is moet dit nie doen nie, maar dit kan werk. Don't do that, but it would work.
Imagine drop hom met 'n vliegtuig uit. Hy gaan glide, reddelik ver glide.
Ja, maar dat gaan nie akkuraat wees dan nie.
Oh, jy weet soos in Wêreldoorlog 2 het, ek dink 5% van die bomme accurate target getref.
That is highly concerning. Cadbury is also in the US. Oh. You have 5-star in the US as well? It's highly alarming, dude. Please do it all the way somewhere there. Take care today, friends. Have a safe and joyful weekend. Have an amazing one yourself, Aunt B. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for letting me know, Maxine. I actually didn't know. Off to an appointment with my holistic practitioner. Have a beautiful day. Love to you, Shan. It's nice to have you here, friend. We'll see you again. Sena says, we all need to be kind to each other and understand that everybody is on a different journey. And sometimes you need to let people find themselves and have faith that we will find peace, harmony, and love. I think we have, Sena. Here it is, dude. Peace, harmony, and love. Like we found it. I am part of the $20,000 forgiveness group. And I had $19,000 in debt. Yeah! What am I done? You see? Yo, this is so cool. Also was a debt forgiveness in Amerika nou onlangs gewees vir mense wat college debt gehad het. Een van my vriende het $19,000 in debt gehad.
Okay, maar dit afgeskryf.
Hulle het $20,000 in debt afgeskryf.
Mooi, so het $1,000 ge.
I don't know. He probably didn't get $1,000. That would be a little bit extreme, but $19,000 se skuld net weg. That is so cool. Blessings to you, friends. I'm so happy. Like, doesn't that just bring joy to your heart? And there's people losing their minds. Daar's letterlik mense wat kwaad is daaroor. Want ek het 50 jaar terug vir my eie ding betaal en ek het maar soos mamma, die huispryse, die salarisse, die brandstof, die inflasie. No. Like blessings. Bless. This is good. This is a good sign for the times that are coming to us, friends. Man, this is good. I'm so happy for you, Gateway. Of course, friend. Oh man, yes, tears. We need to respect others' paths and receptivity, knowing that some might not be in a state to effectively receive the density of information we have come to understand. Whew, you word good, Jovan. So I feel our responsibility as light bearers is to provide loving support while we heal as a whole. Beautifully said. Heck yes, Gateway, right? I paid off a lot of mine, so I don't receive as much as I can, but I'm so happy for all of those that do. Exactly, Jovan. Like the amount of like generational relief, like a like an orgasm, literally within the minds, within the hearts, within the financial security of so many young people right now. It gives me so much hope. Goodness. Goodness. I was going to say Melty. Now I'm committed to doing what I love. Whatever form it is in, I try to share that idea with my nieces and nephews. Thank you. Deeply, deeply, deeply thank you. Because I can't reach your nieces and nephews. Gateway process. Is it gateway process? No. That is Who Needs Tears. That's the point I'm trying to make of these streams as well. That it is going to take all of us doing as much as we can everywhere. That consolidating in one place and then living as a commune, even though that sounds grand, I don't think that's the best way we can make as much of a difference as we would like to. That the fact that we are as scattered as we are all over the world, getting to live our own lives as individuals, gets to give us this opportunity to be these individuals in our communities, in our places of living, when we get to uplift our entire communities as these individuals. Thank you. Thank you, Who Needs Tears, for teaching your nieces and nephews as well, for equipping them to be that for our future generations as well. The quote from the owl and the fox and the hound often resonates with me. Forever is a long time, and time is a way of changing things. Whew, forever is a long time, and time is a way of changing things. Hmm. The fact that they can be all of change within the forever. The fact that you can go through the entire change and come back to where the change started within that forever, within that long time. Jovan, thanks for sharing. I've forgotten that one. Thank you for remembering as well. Your mom is so sweet. She is honestly a god. If it wasn't for her in my life, I probably wouldn't be able to believe in God. Dad is back as well, it seems. God too. What a world. Mm, that means so much to me. Thank you so much, brother. And even if I couldn't see you, I know from our conversations that you're an amazing person with a big and beautiful heart and soul. I hope one day we can meet in person and have some conversations. I feel like we can talk for years. I look forward to it, even, friend. Like we're manifesting that, and I feel that's gonna be the best way to connect when we eventually do as well, is to be able to like sit around a fire and just have some chats, kind of reflect on the things that we've had to do to be in that moment and what we want to do continuing into the future. I see it like it's already here, already now, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you, Sena, for seeing it with me, friend. Literally, chocolateception. The perfect chocolate bar from Melt. He said it's pretty. It is kind of pretty. Like, I mean, technologically, right? Like, I kind of think about food these days as science. Like, it's actual science, right? And for me as a human being, to source caramel, to source hard chocolate, to source soft chocolate, to source individual small little biscuits. Little fly came and landed on me. Survived, just barely. Right? It's so hard. I could make all of those things, surely, but then I would have to have all of the ingredients to do so, go through the whole process, and then to manufacture, manifest it into that shape. Again, highly unlikely. So I see these things as these fractals, you know, beautiful, not beautiful in the same way, and I wanted to say not beautiful in the same way, but I'm having a hard time pulling these parallels. Beautiful in the same way that the tree is beautiful, you know, like I feel the tree is more beautiful to me right now in this moment, but it is beautiful in the same way where it has complexity, it has a whole story behind it, it has a whole reason for being in the first place. And the fact that alongside that whole reason for being, the reason for it being in front of me right now is because my mom loved me enough to bring me one. That is what I'm gonna look at. There is triple two, triple two on the barcode as well. To any of the friends who likes finding synchronicities in the universe. Let's see. Of course, got a 34 on this one as well for Javan. Yeah, yeah. Triple two, triple two, and an 11. Kind of giving an homage to old Toast as well. I haven't seen anything named 5-star in my experience, but Cadbury is famous over here for their chocolate eggs with different fillings. Hmm. Isn't that curious, Maxine? I haven't had any of Cadbury's fillinged chocolate eggs here in South Africa. So it seems that they have different stuff for different markets. Does make sense. That is how they do it. But it's cool that I have stuff from the same company in this country that you don't, and you have stuff in your country from the same company, and that we don't have each other's. The melt bombers, dude. That sounds amazing, actually. Sounds delicious. I want some. I love melt mom. That gentle voice makes me mush. Whew. I wouldn't be who I am if not for my mom. I love her so much. A little behind, running at 2x speed. See you in the present second. Now we're gonna smoke marijuanas. And then I'm gonna pull a card with this in mind. I'm smoking with the intention of being as receptive as I possibly can be to whatever needs to be in this moment, at this time. Okay. Okay. I'll shuffle it once in this axis. Once in this axis. There we go. I love that bonfire. Can't wait to meet you and make some s'mores. I will definitely manifest that for the future. Please do, friend. Please do. I'm gonna come to America as well. Sena. It is part of my plan. California is a big one on my list. I have a bunch of friends that live there, so it's just a matter of time at this point, literally. Nice, that bong rip caught me into the present here now. Yes! Yes, and I was kind of like joking about it just before I started smoking it as well, you know, feeling like you were close to this moment. I'm gonna pull a card. Oh. As soon as I could make out what I was seeing, I was like seeing these almost like, yeah, that's what it felt like to me. And I was like, "The fuck is this?" And then it eventually kind of revealed itself as the patterns underneath a shark's neck. And the shark was just kind of like gliding above me. Upside down, tetrahedron. This is the card I have identified as self within this deck. Out of all of them, this is the card I think of as me, having read all of their meanings. Card number 6, the tetrahedron. This card, or at least the shape, used to have very significant meaning, personal meaning to me. It still does, but and some of you friends will still remember, like I want to in the future build a city on the water. And it kind of works on this base of tetrahedrons, where you have floating tetrahedrons with one of their triangles, the point of the triangle kind of weighted. So it has a stabilizing point, and then it has floors. The birds are fight clubbing each other, like actually fight clubbing each other. There's one bird on top of the other bird right now. I don't think they're mating. Are they mating? Did he kill it? Like, I would want to show you, but I don't know if I could. You see those two dudes? They're fight clubbing one another. They're like rolling around and stuff. What's happening right now? I've never seen them act that way. They're like so vulnerable to attack right now. Like, that's so stupid. Like, if Ginger was like watching you dudes right now, both of you would be cat food. I want to kind of get closer to them, but I know they're going to fly away as soon as I do. Okay, I've shown you Reddit friends. Let's see if I can zoom in for you YouTube friends a little bit. Man, what interesting dudes. Back again, this and then. Look at these dudes. Like kicking each other and stuff. They're like fight clubbing. It looks so dramatic. They're like really getting into it. Then one of the dogs goes, "Oh no! Oh, Pippi, actually, you're." I just, oh, what the hell? What a moment! How cool! I'm happy that we got to zoom in on this part. Life, man, life. Yeah, I love this bird fight club action. Me too, Infinitech. Me too, dude. They're still fighting. They're still fighting. Now they're just fighting on the roof. Man, those two birds fucking hate, deep hate for one another. Fuck you. Think that's bird love? You think so? Maybe it is. Maybe they're like super passionately loving one another right now or something. But they're like, you just heard that, right? That was like on the roof. Donk, donk, donk. So life is so beautiful. Maybe it's love. Maybe that's the beauty of it. Maybe that is the beauty of it. The fact that in this moment, at this time, I actually cannot tell whether or not they were fighting or whether or not they were mating. And just the fact that it's up for us to interpret. Battle to the death. And like they weren't hurting one another, at least from what it looked like. They had their feet hooked to one another, it seems, or they were like gripping onto one another. And then they were rolling around on the ground. And they almost died. They actually almost died for it. Like Pippi only didn't catch one of them because Pippi is not a good hunter, it seems. Like if Pippi was on it, they would have been dead right now, dude. They would have been so dead. Oh goodness, and we caught that as well. Like we were like in it, like pitched in, you know. And I was like picturing as well, literally 5 years into the future, the exact same shot, but it would be like crisp, you know, like crystal clear. You would see the individual little feathers standing up in the air of the burbs. I would love that. I would so love that to be able to show you friends in detail, and for me as well to be able to see even closer. You know, peer into the drama of what's happening. Nice rip. I miss having a bong. I just got my pipe. Consider getting another bong, you know. Like the nicest thing about the bong is just the fact that the smoke is a little bit colder. I live in San Diego. San Diego is like where two, I think two of my friends live. So three plus you, friend. I think you'll like the weed here. Please come, friend. First time I smoke American weed, you know. I'm starting like I turn into one of those grays. Big eyes, rounded head. I just talk to people like that. They're like, what happened to him? Well, he smoked California weed. Ah, where's he from? South Africa. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Checks out. That checks out. Checks out completely. I think that's for love. Thank you, Japan. I don't know, you know. It was dramatic. It was dramatic. If it was anything, it was very dramatic. You know, when we were in it for the drama. That's hilarious. I love nature. You'll never know what you'll expect. Exactly. And if I wasn't here at this time, at that exact time, I would not have gotten to see that moment. Right? We wouldn't have gotten to see that moment because we were in this exact time, at that exact time, we got to see that moment. Ah, nature. It's almost like this ceaseless fractal generator, and you'll experience things which will feel like nobody ever experiences this ever, and then you'll experience that every day for the rest of your life if you just show up for it. Birds have weird courtship display law. It looked like loving to me. It might have been. What it looked like to me above loving is like a risk to mortality. You know that if you're going to like develop some sort of courtship display or loving, like I could see two birds risking their lives being involved in something on the ground if they're fighting, you know, because then it's like an ego thing. Because whichever bird wins the battle is going to inevitably get a testosterone and serotonin and dopamine boost from winning the battle. Like, we know this. It's the same thing with human beings. So, there's an ego thing involved, you know, with the fight. And it could be the same with a courtship as well. But, yo, like, Pippi almost killed them. Yo, Pippi. Yo. We haven't even read the card yet. California does have and grow the best weed. I'd say Colorado follows right after. I'm looking forward to it, Maxine. I'm just gonna be mindful, take like a single puff and then take two puffs, and then eventually end up getting passed out by smoking a joint or something. Love this bird back now. Thank you again, Fred. You smash you too. Sofa. It's nice to have you. Kali weed's the most powerful. I'll I'll get to sample, I believe, multiple different types. You know, I look forward to that as well, you know, as an experiment to see how I get influenced by smoking a little bit of weed maybe on stream from different places in the world. Suddenly, you know, we get galaxy blazed by California weed, and I'm like speaking in tones purely, and you're like, yeah, that's about right. Melt slaying the world with schmeckiness, one schmection at a time. Walks. Schmeckies people. Schmeckies more people on the damn it, so much love to you, Fred. Thank you for being so schmecky yourself. I'm gonna read what this card says. The tetrahedron. We did pull it reversed, so this is the reverse meaning, and then I'll read the upright meaning. It goes, the downward facing tetrahedron is water, passive and the feminine. This is a time of safe passage and rest. No action is indicated. I'm happy that I read that one first, because this next beast might trigger some of us. you know. So taking that into heart, that we did pull it upside down, which means it's the downward facing tetrahedron, where the upward facing tetrahedron, the strong point, is the masculine, and then the downward facing tetrahedron is the feminine. And we pulled it down, indicating water, passivity, non action. Relax. With that in mind, this this piece of text is what I feel my soul screams every single day. So the fact that I'm pulling it upside down is just giving me a sense of calm, because goodness, I've been running instances, too many instances, way too many instances, thinking more than I feel is necessary sometimes. So the tetrahedron is the card of understanding and action. With its four equal triangular faces, is one of the five three-dimensional shapes commonly called the Platonic solids. The simplest of these solids, the tetrahedron, associated is associated with the masculine aspect and the element of fire. It is a symbol of action and understanding. This is the fire of ambition and the understanding of what it will take to bring ideas and projects to fruition. Is there a mission you have been considering or a decision you have been putting off? Now is the time to seek greater understanding and assurance that the path that you have embarked upon is in your best interest. Now is the time to take action and initiate movement toward the promotion of ideas and the completion of creative projects. I feel like that one is just like a stab into Gobbledygoo's heart if he's here right now. It's like, yeah, you're gonna complete the spiral? God? Your completion of your creative project? If you are already actively engaged in this process, this card affirms your decision to act and supports the inspiration and passion that directs you upon this path. Understand that the evolution of your vision will take energy, focus, and time. Remember to listen to your inner guidance and make certain this action is not merely smoke and flames, but intentional movement towards your highest good. Hot diggity damn! Oh, jeez. Love's true. Action. Fiery action. Action so fiery it hurts sometimes. It burns. It burns. It's a full-time job being that schmexy. Melton, full-time. I'm not always this schmexy sofa. You know, I have to shower. I have to work out and stuff. I have to pay attention to my diet. I have to do all of this stuff to be all of this schmexy. It's exhausting, man. Oh, woe is me. Oh, I'm so woe. Yes. Thank you, Fred. No, I'm not, dude. You should see me when I'm like in the late night hours where I just get super blazed, and I'm like squinty eyed, and my hair is like maybe probably tied up, and I don't know if I'm humaning or if I'm presenting or if I'm awarenessing. And you walking in on me, I would just be like, not really. But I'm melting here, sofa. Please have mercy, dude. Slay intersection because I felt that card. Already started a second canvas. Now here is Maxine. I'm sure we'll find out if you allow us to. Thank you for letting me know as much as you did. Got some dank weed. I'm looking forward to it, Seda. Yes, I need to rest more and connect more with my higher self. Just breathe in this moment, Saina. Realize that that is how you connect. By being present with that breath, being present with your thoughts in the same way. Realizing that you can take action, control, if you will, in the same way with breath, where I can inhale, exhale. In the same way you can do that, and you have this automatic response, you can think things intentionally. I am a loving being in the world, right? Now I thought that. Instead of I suck ass. I could have thought that as well about myself. To realize that you can think things for yourself about yourself. It doesn't have to be automatic, all of it. And then even if it's automatic and you want to allow it to be automatic, to be in the observing place of that, to be like, oh, okay. Now this. Oh, now I'm jealous of this person. Oh, cool, cool. Now I'm angry at this thing again that happened years ago. Cool, all right. Oh, now I'm thinking, oh, if only I did this thing. If only I invested in this way. If only if I didn't make that decision at that time. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Just pay attention. You got this. You are perfectly connected, Saina. So much love to you, friend. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage. Rage against the dying of the light. Thank you, friends, for joining me, for sharing a moment of love. Thank you, 69 Meg. I don't even, you know, like the only reason I didn't go full out with like the love sending to this bot is because I would have probably gotten, you know, removed by YouTube. Like the last time we had like a bot spam some sort of promotional equipment or information in chat, I was like reading it super passionately, salesman like, and then YouTube literally completely removed that entire stream from the internet. I was like, maybe I shouldn't joke about stuff like that. Woulda, coulda, shoulda is what we call that. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, dude. For what? For just to suffer? Why am I still here? Just to suffer. Every day. I feel my legs. I'm sorry. Stop. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. You got this, friend. This is your time. This is yours. And then from this time, you will continue to do everything else. Everything. Everything you'll ever do in your entire existence will come after now. Thank you for being here in this now. Go and be with your now into infinity. I'll see you again. Love to you. Cheers. Big, yeah, exactly. Big Metal Gear. Just to suffer. The drama, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, dear friends. It's always a pleasure having you here with me. I look forward to doing it again tomorrow. Into infinity and beyond. Love you, Jovan. Thank you for joining me, friends. Even if I'm not saying your name, I see you and I appreciate you being here with me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.